First thing is we are not endorsing nor supporting any candidates. We did our best to get as much as we could on every candidate that we could. My name is David Kesselring, and I live here in Port Charlotte. I'm a local businessman, and I'm the District 16 Coordinator for Campaign for Liberty, your host organization for this afternoon's event. Campaign for Liberty's mission is to promote and defend the great American principles of individual liberty, constitutional government, sound money, free markets, and a non-interventionist foreign policy by means of educational and political activity. There's additional information about our organization and the candidates available at the tables over to the side and in the rear. The video footage used here today to replace personal appearances has been assembled from a variety of sources, such as from previous debates, interviews, acceptance speeches, as well as from some questions posed by Campaign for Liberty members at a candidate forum. This is by no means comprehensive, and we encourage you to visit the websites of each and every candidate, and there is a sheet on our table that has that information. Campaign for Liberty would like to thank the Cultural Center for providing this forum for this event free of charge, and also those who helped organize and host this event, so we can defray some of today's costs, including equipment, advertising, and other items, and leave the Cultural Center something for their generosity in allowing us to be here today. We have a donation, we'll have donation buckets at the doors and on our table. The Cultural Center is most important, so if you're going to give, please give to them, and if secondarily you'd like to give something to us, we'd appreciate any donation, no matter how small. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce our moderator, who's traveled all the way from Pasco County to be with us this afternoon, James Moore.
As David told you, I'm James Moore. I live in Pasco County. I am a member of Campaign for Liberty, and it's my privilege to be a small part of this effort. David deserves a lot of credit for going to a lot of effort to put this together. So the format will be that we will introduce the videos, and then our speakers will respond with theirs. There'll be 2 to 2.5 minutes per question, and candidates, I will inform you of your time. So then is simply, what is the purpose of government? Mr. Riggs, I believe we will start alphabetically with you, and we will alternate. So, Mr. Snicker, you will take the second question first.
Bruce Ray Riggs. The purpose of government.
Gentlemen, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and go with your introductions. If you're ready for that. 3 minutes each. And Mr. Snicker, you go first.
Thank you very much. My name is Alexander Snicker. I am the Libertarian candidate for the United States Senate here in Florida. A regular person, not a career politician by any stretch of the imagination. I do believe that we need citizen legislators in Washington, D.C. in order to make the kind of changes to get back to what the founders of this country envisioned. Let's get to kind of how we got to this point as it stands today. Whether it's been the left or the right, we've had an increasing, expanding federal government. Through whether it be security means or whether it be to provide for goods or items or safety for the individuals, they have continued to encroach on our civil liberties. They've continued to expand our monetary supply to cause inflation that affects the lower and middle class more than anyone else. They've turned us into a country that is addicted to government. 60% of the people that are in the United States are collecting a paycheck from the government in one form or another. The founders of this country would have never imagined that something like this were to happen. And over the course of many generations, we've allowed this incremental process to overtake us, where we're starting to see the dramatic ramifications of this, whether it be the last recessionary period or the expansion when it came to overseas influence. We can no longer allow this to continue. Most of the other candidates that are in this race are only promising to slow it down. We need to completely reverse course. We need to go back to what the founders of this country envisioned when it came to the Constitution, and have that as our end goal. If we can agree on those things, which I believe as Americans we actually can return to a constitutional republic like we were. Unfortunately, like I said, the two major parties and their representations in this Senate debate, in the Senate race, are not going to provide that for you. The only people that are going to be able to provide that are citizen legislators that are willing to make the tough decisions that are going to need to be made. Now, some of the major issues that I'm going after is we need to make sure that we have a monetary supply that is backed by gold and silver. And we have a Federal Reserve System which needs to be eliminated. I do not believe that this plan can happen overnight, but I do believe that the steps that need to be taken in order to overall end the Federal Reserve can happen. We also have to understand that our current foreign policy is counterintuitive to national defense. It's counterproductive to those needs. If you believe in a strong national defense, having troops in 130 countries defeats the purpose. And then we need to go back to what the founders of this country envisioned, and go back to a non-interventionist foreign policy. Again, I'd like to thank you very much for coming here today and listening to what the candidates have to say.
Hi, I'm Bruce Ray Riggs. I'm running for the United States Senate in Florida. I'm the owner and founder of DirtyUncleSam.com, a corruption exposed website that shows the documents as I speak and it's free and videos. The American people's been deceived. Like I said a minute ago, there's basically two types of laws that you're never going to deal with. Law of the land, which in our case should be a constitutional common law jurisdiction, and merchant law. While the Civil War was going on in 1862, Congress took it upon themselves to redefine the word person to mean a corporation owned by the District of Columbia. To redefine the word person to mean a corporation later owned by the District of Columbia. In 1868, the 14th Amendment made persons citizens of the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. In 1871, Washington, D.C. incorporated, doing business as the United States, owner and head and successor of all corporations and owners of all property thereof. Now remember, 6 years prior, you were persons was made a corporation, and 3 years prior, you were made a corporation, a citizen of the United States. If you ever notice any government or state or federal ID, all your letters of your name is capitalized. Any summons to appear in court, only the first letter of the date's capitalized, but every letter of your name is capitalized. I took it upon myself to research some law to help people understand. Black's Law Dictionary. A corporation is a person within the meaning of the 14th Amendment. Black's Law Dictionary, United States. This term has several meanings. One of even the territory, Washington, D.C. Black's Law Dictionary, 14th Amendment. Greater is recognized for the first time in 1868 a citizen of the United States as distinct head of the state. The original Founding Fathers, Article 4, Section 2, Clause 1, created a citizen of the state. Every one of you is a resident, you're not a citizen. Citizen and residence non-synonymous. United States Code annotated, Article 4, Section 2, Clause 1. Oh, by the way, United States under 28 U.S.C. subsection 3002, Part 15A means a federal corporation. You're a citizen of a federal corporation if you're a citizen of the United States. Their own law says so. And since you're a corporation, Code of Federal Regulations, Title 27-72.11, all crimes are commercial crimes. Now, the government knows this. 2008 Senate report even says the 14th Amendment that created this jurisdiction was ratified by Executive Order 6 that was never signed by the President, only the Secretary. Both parties got a copy of this. Executive Order 7 ordered the 14th Amendment lawful and published. Nowhere in the Constitution can you use fake executive orders to change the entire government. We were a republic. Now we're a corporate democracy, and you're a corporation owned by a corporation. Bruce for USSenate.com. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Bernie DeCastro, and I'm a true constitutional conservative in Florida's race for U.S. Senate. Unlike my opponents, Charlie Crist, Marco Rubio, and Kendrick Meeks, I'm not a lawyer, a lobbyist, or a professional politician. I'm a business owner.
What are some of the key issues that you are addressing while you're campaigning?
Well, I would say my main issue, the number one issue, is adherence to the Constitution, to the way that the Founding Fathers meant for the Constitution to be. And that's why we're in the condition that we're in right now. We've got the President of the United States telling us that health care is a right. It's not a right. And it's just on and on and on. The immigration, illegal immigration policy, the Federal Reserve, the 16th Amendment, and NAFTA, CAFTA, all those things that are just destroying America.
Hello, my name is Bobby B. I'm here today in front of you due to the corruption I have found in our government. But it's not much surprise the way they wastefully spend in that. But where I found it at was FDLE, the Sheriff's Organization of Florida, Florida Education. And what does it do? Corruption squeezes out the American dream. My family was raped numerous times because I asked simple questions how a child got beat multiple times at a school. And why did the Sheriff's Organization and the schools of Sebring, Florida, kept information back from me as a father. My YouTube face is Bobby100. It's not what I think, it's what my constituents think. I have a book that's going to come out in the near future. It's going to deal with bullying, retaliation, and lost civil rights in America. We need so desperately court reform, education reform, and law enforcement reform. I have interviewed families that their children have been physically raped by a sheriff in uniforms. I'm coming up that one child a day in the state of Florida will be raped, sexually assaulted by a Florida teacher or a Florida law enforcement. Nobody answered me those questions yet. But as I'm elected, I can get answers for that. It sounds scary, and it is. 42 years, FDLE has been covering up situations like that. But you cannot keep sitting on the couch and hiding in your little Bibles in the back room. You got to get out of it. You can't stamp out the corruption we have in this country overnight. It's going to take me a few years to get it going. I believe in term limits. 1, term limit to me is enough. 2, I think pushing it. Everybody gets buddy-buddy after that point. But keep going back to this phone number, 757-226-2489. Let me leave you with one little thing. That last week, Nancy Pelosi threatened everybody with a big mallet. I tell you what, us independent people, we got a bigger mouth, baby, right there. When the Democratic Party comes tumbling down, this puppy be the one to do it, huh? So people out there, Nancy definitely threatened those people with that. Is this threatening? I don't know. But